With 30 June only 3 short weeks away, we thought it was important to run you through some of the more time-sensitive matters that need to be considered at this time of year, particularly some of the new developments that have occurred in tax over the past 12 months that are relevant to get sorted before 30 June 2013. The first item I'd like to cover is an old chestnut, and that's the writing off of bad debts. Many businesses at this time of year look through their debtor balances and realise that there's debts that they're unable to recover from their customer. It's very important in order to claim a tax deduction for those bad debts that they're written off before 30 June. You go into your financial records and you write the debts off. And it's also important to do a director's resolution or some kind of record that you can show the tax office that you've physically gone to the effort of writing the debt off before 30 June. Leaving it till after 30 June leaves you a little exposed if the tax office do challenge when those debts were actually written off. Another important change that's relevant for this 30 June is the instant asset write-off for that's available for small businesses. So firstly, you need to be a small business, that is a business with turnover of less than $2 million per annum. And the instant write-off is that if you acquire an asset for less than $6,500 before 30 June 2013, you're able to immediately write that off as a tax deduction. So if you consider any capital purchases with a value of less than $6,500, you should absolutely acquire those assets before 30 June 2013. A new concession available for small businesses also this year is the once-off accelerated depreciation for the purchase of motor vehicles. So when you acquire a motor vehicle in excess of $6,500, you get a extra depreciation in the first year of ownership of $5,000. So if you're looking to acquire a car, try to do so before 30 June because you get that extra $5,000 depreciation write-off even though you've only owned it for a few days in the financial year. Another really innovative development by the government in 2013 is the new loss carryback rules. So in essence what these allow for companies, if you make a loss in 2013, you're allowed to take that loss back into the 2012 year and get a refund for any tax you paid for that year. So if you're thinking that your 2013 year is looking like a loss, you need to speak to us before June 30 so that we can work out a plan to best benefit from the loss carryback rules. These rules will be very valuable each year moving forward, and this is the first year we've had to give them some thought. It's important to note that also from 1 July 2013, the super guarantee rate that you're required to pay for your employees into superannuation goes from 9% to 9.25%. We're finding there's a bit of confusion out there that may not be in fact happening, but it is actually law at the moment, so the rate will go up by 0.25% from 1 July. It's just important to note when you're budgeting your staff remuneration that you need to pay another 0.25% in superannuation from 1 July 2013. Another very important item at the end of June each year is to make certain if you're wanting to contribute into superannuation, you do so by 30th of June. Superannuation is only deductible when the contribution is made. That is when the super funds have cleared funds. So don't wait until Friday the 28th of June to make your contribution. Make it a few days earlier so that it's in the superannuation fund as cleared funds before 30 June so that you get a full tax deduction for the contributions made. Whilst we're talking about superannuation contributions, a reminder that the superannuation caps have been reduced this year so that they're $25,000 per person, and so that if you're wanting to make the contribution of the maximum amount of deductible concessional contributions before 30 June, you need to work with a cap of $25,000, of course reducing that for any contributions that might have been made during the year. That's a common mistake that people forget that earlier contributions have been made and often unintentionally breach the caps, so it's important to do that analysis before making your contribution before 30 June. Another issue that's quite important at the moment, and we just wanted to remind everybody, is that the importance of making your superannuation guarantee payments on time. They're due at the 28th of the month following the end of the quarter, so 28 July for this quarter. It's very important to make those on time or you'll be exposed to the superannuation guarantee charge. Whilst it's not a 30 June issue, to get a tax deduction, as I mentioned before, you need to make the contribution before 30 June. So if you know what the contribution is going to be for employees, why not make it prior to 30 June so that you can claim a full tax deduction? As a final observation, if you're wanting to put more into superannuation than the $25,000 caps I've discussed previously, there are other strategies that allow contributions above those amounts, and we do recommend, if you're interested in putting more money into superannuation, you contact your relevant contact at WMS and we'll be able to come up with a strategy that will help you attain those goals.